Hey guys, how's it going? It's 8-Bit Eric. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, consider smashing that subscription button. Let's go ahead and get started with today's review. I'm going to talk about the Panzer Dragoon Remake, which just came out on Switch and on Steam and Google Stadia. So this is awesome. It's a remake of the original Panzer Dragoon game by Sega, and I gotta say, when Panzer Dragoon first played, I played it very briefly at a friend's house. I think I was like in 5th grade, and I thought it was alright. It was an on-rails shooter game that was actually kind of quite similar to the original Star Fox game, and except you're on a dragon. And the whole thing of Panzer is Panzer Dragoon, which is kind of like a loosely translation of Armored Dragon. Now, this game, I'm not too familiar with. Again, I only played it one time, but when I saw that it was coming out on the Switch, I was like, yo, I gotta get on that. I missed it the first time around, and the original Panzer Dragoon cost a lot of money. If you want to play the original one, the one that came out a long time ago, you're gonna be paying a hefty amount of moolah. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna miss out on the Nintendo Switch one this time around. Now, it released on March 26th, just yesterday, on Switch, Steam, PC, and I gotta say, it's pretty impressive for what it is. I enjoy it very much. I think it controls really well. I mean, you basically guide the dragon around on the screen at like any kind of aircraft, and you have like an aiming reticle that is a little awkward, takes some getting used to. The main reason why I say that is the biggest chief complaint I have with this game is that it just kind of gets hidden behind the dragon. The dragon's kind of in the way of the screen, and in such a weird way that it's often quite hard to tell if you're aiming at an enemy that's attacking you or anything like that, because it goes from like a big square to a little one. And I think it should be actually quite opposite, to where the big part of the reticle is at the very front, so you can at least see it over the dragon's body. It did take me some time getting used to, but once you get through that, it's kind of a breeze. You could shoot a regular attack, or if you hold the button down, you're able to do like a charge attack. And you go through these levels. The game's actually quite short. I was really surprised with the length of it. There's like about, what, 7 chapters in it, and they're okay in length, but it being an on-rails shooter, it kind of is very linear on that. There's no like branching paths or any kind of like major secrets that you'll see in here. It feels almost like a real arcade-like type of game, if I'm going to be honest, but it's not a bad thing. I could see it standing the test of time. I understand that Panzer Dragoon has a great following of people. I mean, I have some friends that are very passionate about this series. In fact, one of them is on my streams all the time, Boat Captain. He's like absolutely in love with this series, so he was pretty stoked to see that this game was being brought out. Now, the graphics, it is a remake. I guess they've been kind of patched up a little bit. To me, they still look a little weird, if I'm gonna be completely honest. They still have like a retro feel to them. Kind of almost like a late 90s, early 2000s Sega arcade game. Maybe that was the look they were going for. I'm not entirely sure. It's not super HD, like realistic graphics, if you were to expect that from the game. And I think they kind of did it on purpose, just because the art and the design of the previous games in the Panzer Dragoon saga kind of have that weird kind of like look to them, that vibe and everything. And the setting of the whole premise of the game is some kind of weird post-apocalyptic world, and it's not planet Earth. I don't think there's a name for the planet at all that I'm aware of, but to my understanding, it's like kind of like a post-apocalyptic Mad Max type of vibe, and there's like dragons and flying ships and stuff, like a weird combination of like steampunk with dragons and stuff. So it kind of looks cool. It's neat, you know, seeing some of these enemies flying around and some of these big bosses that take up huge portions of the screen and stuff. It has just that real gritty feel to it, I think. And I gotta say, the challenge is really there. There was a couple boss fights where I was like, Jesus Christ, there's this big one that kind of looks like a flower, and its head spins, and he comes apart, and you have to like hit him and stuff, and avoid the parts of him from swinging and hitting you. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, I died so many times in that part. I think that was chapter 3, if I'm not mistaken. I was just like, Jesus Christ, this is such a challenging and difficult game. But it wasn't unfair. I was playing on standard difficulty. There's different difficulty modes, so you're not going to be dying constantly depending if you're a seasoned veteran or if you choose an easier one. Me, I was right in the middle, and I was having a fun time. It wasn't enough to where it was killing my vibe with it, and I was like, you know what? I don't like this series, because keep in mind, I'm a noob when it comes to Panzer Dragoon. So the main point of me wanting to check this game out and play it was to experience something that had been out for a while, because at the time I was a one console kid, a generation. I had the Super Nintendo, and I didn't get anything else until the Nintendo 64 came out. So I missed out on the Saturn, I missed out on the Dreamcast, I missed out on the PS1, PS2, you know, kind of like all that. I was a Nintendo only guy, so Panzer Dragoon was always one of those franchises that kind of escaped my my backlog, and it's kind of, it's interesting because my favorite Nintendo franchise is Star Fox, and I've heard a lot of comparisons of Panzer Dragoon to being Sega's answer to Star Fox, and just playing this for the amount of time that I played within the past day or two, I could actually see those comparisons. And it's you know, I don't know if that's going to trigger some Panzer Dragoon fanboys or Sega fans, but I could really see that just because of the way that the controls feel when moving the dragon around, you know, moving it up, left, down, right, across the screen, the way the aiming works, the way that the boss battles work, and everything like that. The game feels, as far as a rails shooter goes, an on-rails shooter, it feels very Star Foxy. Now, one thing also that differentiates it, besides its, you know, post-apocalyptic look and stuff like that, is that I forgot to mention on the controls, is you have a full 360 degrees of combat around your character. So enemies will be coming from the left or the right or behind you or in front of you. You use the shoulder buttons on the Switch's Pro controller to rotate your view. So if you use L, it goes to the left. If you use R, it goes to the right. And you can go a full 360 degrees around your field of vision. And there's a radar in the bottom corner where you can see where the enemies are going and everything like that. So it did take a little bit of getting used to for me, because I don't know what it is. My hand-eye coordination, if I'm looking one way and I forget left or right, I don't know if it's, you know, attention span or whatever. But this game did have a fair amount of challenge and fun for me that I really enjoyed. I don't know how much of an improvement this is from the original till now. Looking at early videos and screenshots and reviews of the original Panzer Dragoon, I could see that it did step it up quite a bit. I was also made aware that they will be making a remake of the second game, but as of right now, there's no official release date for that. So this game had been in the works for a while. I remember seeing it being announced about a year ago, and then it was just a surprise release suddenly on the Nintendo Direct Mini Direct, and I was like, wow, I had to get that. So I picked it up, and honestly, this is coming from somebody with no experience. Like I said, I was pretty impressed because I am a Star Fox guy. I really enjoyed what I saw in this game. It had that arcade feel. It was like a challenging game that was fair enough with its way that it played, that gave me like an arcade feel. I enjoyed it. It reminded me a lot of Star Fox. So quite evidently, I had a lot of fun playing it. I was like, wow. And if you're not, you know, a veteran of Panzer Dragoon, don't worry about it. This is a brand new remake for a new generation of people that have never played it, people that might have in the past, to enjoy it again. Now, is this game fitting of the hype that I've heard behind the series? For me personally, I don't feel that the hype that I've heard for so many years, that it's such a great, amazing game, really stands. Honestly, to me, it is a pretty average game. The one chief complaint I do have about it is its price point is pretty high. It's like $24.99 for the length of game that you're getting in this. It's pretty short for that price. I don't know. It's not a bad game by any means. It's just, it felt a little steep for $24.99. Now, limited run games, as of this video right now, depending if you're watching it, this is March 27th, 2020, is doing a physical release on their website for this. So if you want to go ahead and get it physically, I know I have a lot of people in my live streams like Derek who prefer physical over the digital. I got it digital for $24.99. That's pretty steep. So that's probably my biggest chief complaint, is for a digital game that is not really that big. as far as like a length of a game goes. It's pretty steep, but you know, I guess it was pretty safe to say that it's not a bad game at all. And I did indeed feel that maybe, you know, I should have checked it out between then, but it still didn't feel like the hype that I felt like that so many people say behind it. To me, it was just a so-so game. I probably would give it a 7.5 out of 10. So yeah, not a bad game by any means. It is worth checking out if you're starved for some solid third-party games out there. It's Sega. But anyways, guys, thanks a lot for watching, as always. I'll see you guys later on the next video. Subscribe if you're brand new. Don't forget to like or dislike. Let's throw some engagement. Comment down below. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Consider supporting 8-Bit Eric on Patreon for just $1 a month. Link below in the description. You want to become part of the hashtag 8BE Nation, guys? Well, be sure to pick up your official merch, now available online. Link is below in the description. We got classic t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, and even women's apparel. Don't forget, pick up your official merch now. And while you're at it, guys, feel free to watch the next video, or why don't you catch up on one that you might have previously missed. Thanks again, guys, for all the support. I couldn't do this without you. You guys are amazing, and don't forget to subscribe and click that like button if you are brand new. Thanks again, guys. Peace out.